A cordial greeting. Today is Saturday, September 27, 2025. This is meteorologist Ruben Garcia. In today's video I will be giving an update on Hurricane Humberto and also on potential Tropical Cyclone Nine, which is bringing heavy downpours across Jamaica, Haiti, eastern Cuba, the Turks and Caicos Islands, and the southern Bahamas. In fact, potential Tropical Cyclone Nine should strengthen into Tropical Storm Imelda as it crosses the central and northern Bahamas, and eventually it could approach the southeastern coast of the United States. But the good news is that this morning we have a forecast which, if it holds, could prevent this cyclone from impacting the U.S. is largely due to Hurricane Humberto having strengthened more than anticipated. It is currently a Category 4 hurricane with maximum sustained winds of 145 miles per hour. In fact, this is the first time since 1935 that the first three hurricanes of the season have all been major hurricanes. This rapid intensification of Humberto in this part of the Atlantic is not surprising, since the southwestern Atlantic continues with ocean surface temperatures well above normal. That's precisely where cyclones have concentrated this year, which has been favorable because the vast majority of them have tracked over open Atlantic waters. If we zoom into the infrared satellite image, we can see how impressive Humberto's structure looks, and it appears to still be strengthening. The National Hurricane Center now estimates that within the next 24 hours it will strengthen into a powerful Category 5 hurricane, with maximum sustained winds reaching 160 miles per hour. If that forecast verifies, it would be the second Category 5 hurricane of the season. Unusual considering that although only 8 tropical storms and 3 hurricanes have formed, every hurricane has reached major hurricane status. This has contributed to significant accumulated cyclone energy, and it is likely that in the coming days the Atlantic will surpass the threshold for an above-normal season, as experts had predicted. Now, let's talk about Humberto's track forecast. Fortunately, for now it looks like hurricane force winds will remain over the open Atlantic, although the center will pass very close, just west of Bermuda. Forecasts also show that at least through Wednesday it will remain a major hurricane. Bermuda stays inside the cone of uncertainty, so residents there must continue to monitor closely. Even if the center passes just west, Humberto's broad circulation could still bring tropical storm conditions to the island. For example, the latest projection of wind gusts from the European model shows tropical storm force gusts between 60 and 70 miles per hour between Tuesday and Wednesday. Any slight shift eastward could bring hurricane force winds into Bermuda. And although the heaviest rainfall is expected to remain west of the island, a more eastward track could bring 100 to 125 millimeters, 4 to 5 inches, of rain by midweek. One possible benefit of Humberto's rapid strengthening is that as it moves north-northeast it could interact with future Tropical Storm Imelda. This may steer Imelda away from the southeastern U.S. coast, since a stronger hurricane has more potential to influence nearby circulation. The latest forecasts now show the system turning northeastward, no longer projected to move into the Carolinas or Georgia. Let's zoom in to potential Tropical Cyclone Nine. At the moment it remains disorganized but is expected to develop into a tropical depression and then Tropical Storm Imelda within the next 36 hours. While the low-pressure center is north of Cuba, the bad weather and rainfall extend as far south as Jamaica, Haiti, and eastern Cuba. Track models show a northwest to north motion over the next 3 days, which would bring Imelda across the central and northern Bahamas Sunday into Monday. Unlike yesterday, when most models showed a track toward South Carolina and Georgia, today most guidance favors a turn to the east and northeast, thanks to the influence of Hurricane Humberto. However, residents in the Carolinas should remain alert, as a few models still show the potential for a northwest track, though this now appears less likely. In terms of intensity, models continue to project a strong tropical storm or Category 1 hurricane at its closest point to the U.S. For now, significant intensification beyond 72 hours is not expected. The National Hurricane Center forecast calls for Tropical Storm Imelda to form overnight into Sunday and to become a Category 1 hurricane by early Tuesday before turning east-northeast. Still North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia remain within the cone of uncertainty. A tropical storm warning has been issued for the central and northern Bahamas, where residents should prepare for tropical storm force winds and torrential rain. Rainfall totals through Monday morning could reach 100 to 200 millimeters, 4 to 8 inches, across eastern Cuba and the Bahamas. Heavier rains are forecast to remain east of Florida, but by midweek 2 to 5 inches of rain may fall over North and South Carolina, bringing flood risks. If the center tracks farther northwest, the flood threat for the U.S. would increase significantly. Wind projections show gusts of 50 to 60 miles per hour across the northern Bahamas. While tropical storm force winds should remain offshore of Florida, gusty conditions are expected along the Carolina coast midweek, with 35 to 40 miles per hour gusts possible. Looking at global models, the American model shows Humberto passing just west of Bermuda while Imelda turns northeastward, sparing the U.S. coast but potentially threatening Bermuda. Interestingly, the latest American run even shows Imelda briefly strengthening into a Category 2 hurricane off the southeast coast. The European model shows a very similar scenario: Humberto near Bermuda, Imelda approaching the Carolinas Tuesday night but turning northeastward. So while we continue monitoring both systems, particularly potential Tropical Cyclone 9 due to flood risk in the Bahamas, Jamaica, Cuba, and Haiti, overall the track forecasts for both Humberto and Imelda suggest that the strongest winds and heaviest rains may remain over Atlantic waters. Still, remember that forecast errors are always possible. A more westward track of Imelda would pose greater flood risk to the Carolinas, and any eastward shift of Humberto would put Bermuda at higher risk. That's why it's critical to follow the National Hurricane Center's updates. Here at Hurricane Info, I'll keep monitoring and keeping you informed. If you don't want to miss these updates, please give this video a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and click the bell to receive notifications when I post new updates. I hope you all have an excellent Saturday, and to our followers in the Bahamas, Cuba, Jamaica, Haiti, and the Turks and Caicos Islands, please remain alert to weather conditions due to the high flood risk through today and Sunday. See you next time.